Hi everybody. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I was just seeing our new beautiful employee of Sarah, and I've got a view here for you all, and Jelly is right here. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, hello everybody joining, welcome to New York, welcome. I'm going to quickly go through this. You guys can ask any questions and I can always do a follow-up with these questions, but I'm going to quickly do this because then I'm going to go to breath work. So I was writing my book last night. Hi everybody. I'm going to let you all join. Everyone's joining. Okay, I'm just going to wait a second. Mommy's going to wait a second, Jelly. Mommy's going to wait a second. Oh, this dog, guys. This fucking dog. Let me show you him. Hold on. Hello. Okay, we're all here. So, careful, baby. Mummy's holding you funny, sorry. Okay, so guys, what I wanted to talk to you about really quick, I was writing my book last night and it was just like flowing through, and this is what I want to talk to you guys about, this whole like soft men thing, and then I'm going to mention the inconvenience wound. So, there's this catch-22, right, where there's this like toxic masculinity, which I fucking hate that phrase because you saying it's toxic is fucking toxic. And the response to toxic masculinity can be quite toxic in itself. So there's toxic masculinity, and everyone has grouped, whether they consciously know it or not, subconsciously, everyone has grouped and created a bias that masculinity is toxic and like masculine men are toxic, right? A man that's like in his fucking power and direct and has discernment and is protecting and is providing, that can be taken as toxic. Now, as a result of all of this man shaming that's happening, and the emasculation is often the word that I use that you guys might be familiar with, as a result of all the emasculation and just the fucking man shaming, people are thinking they're doing it from a good space because they're trying to stop the toxic masculinity, which is fantastic. But what's happening is actually just shaming a lot of men altogether. And what's then happening is people are going like, men need to be softer, men need to be more feminine. Oh, shush, Jelly. Men need to be more feminine. So then now these men are becoming more feminine, they're becoming softer, they're becoming more emotional, which is a good thing in some degree. And I talk about this in the podcast, in my book, of when is this a good thing and when is it not a good thing, like when it's not the right time. So when these men are then becoming too soft in not the right environment, as a result of it, women are actually not feeling safe because the polarity of men and women, masculine, feminine, fire, and earth, the polarity of the aspect that's actually needed is that when men are in their power and in this grounded masculine energy where they're being the protectors and the providers, women do not need to be in this controlling dynamic in their body. They don't have to be in their masculine, they can let go. We actually feel safer. When men are becoming too soft and too feminine, and this is triggering, I know, too soft and too feminine, what's then happening is women are like, what? I don't fucking like this. Where are all the amazing, strong men that are leading me? They're all becoming control freaks. Men are complaining that women are control freaks. Women are complaining that men are not manly enough. And at the same time, they're wanting them to also be emotional. And at the same time, they're also demonizing all men, shaming all men. And can you see how there's this like perpetuating issue in society right now because we're not hitting the nail on the head? People are, with a lot of things, are having biases and demonizing certain groups in society, whether they're big groups like men and women or whether they're minority groups. As a result of what we're seeing that's happening, and it's showing up in my survey, is that we're demonizing all men. And whether you are demonizing men or not, men are feeling demonized. They are feeling like they cannot be these strong, purpose-driven, powerful men because then they're a misogynist. And we're not understanding that powerful women and powerful men can exist together in society. We're seeing it as like one or the other kind of situation, or that men need to like take a fucking step off their podium. rather than being like, no, stay on your fucking podium and women can also come up. So when we're then talking about in society of like, but we want men to show more emotions, right? Because being quote unquote strong does not mean hiding your emotions. And a lot of men, they suppress because they think that's strength, right? Because that is the toxic masculinity people are talking about, of when men are hiding their truth, when they're hiding their emotions, their experiences. Can you please be quiet, Jelly? No one wants to hear you. When they're hiding their truth and their emotions, like that makes you strong. And that's causing mental health implications, right? So then the other side of the argument is, and I explain this way more in the book, so I can't wait for it to be out for you guys. The mental health side effects that obviously is not good because men are suppressing their emotions. So what I was writing about last night that I came to the conclusion of that I thought was a good, like, middle way, is that you need to be able to diagnose the environment that you're in and figure out, in this environment, is it appropriate for me to soften as a man, for me to open my heart and for me to be emotional, or is that actually going to fuck the polarity and make my feminine partner, my feminine woman, whether she is a friend or whether she's more than a friend, is that actually going to make her feel unsupported and unsafe and unprotected? So, and I really want to emphasize, guys, this goes for whether you're in a romantic relationship or not, because when I'm out with my male friends, I still am like, take the fucking lead. And if they're not, I'm like, oh, it makes me not feel like I can just let go that night whilst we're having dinner or something. It makes me feel like I have to like keep my eye out for everything, right? Because at the end of the day, women are still in this, like, we still are looking over our shoulder to make sure that we can survive it. I know people then say, well, if men weren't so violent, we wouldn't have to be looking over our shoulder. That's not true. Because if men were actually trained, if men were actually raised and guided from a young age by really amazing male leaders, they would be in this grounded masculine energy rather than all of that being suppressed and it coming up in unhealthy ways. Because that's actually what we're seeing happen. What we're seeing happen is the masculine, when it is being shown up, is it's being shown up in an unhealthy way. And people are then labeling that as like, oh, see, that's the masculine. The masculine isn't good. Rather than us seeing, oh, we actually need to help men be more in their masculine by showing and by giving these men amazing male leaders. And we need to stop nurturing them so much that we're treating them like women, because men and women are very, very, very different. You need to have a conversation with your fiance, yes. So what I was saying is that there is a time and a place for a man to soften. And I was writing in my book that basically, like, if you're a man and you've come home and your woman's had a stressful as fuck day, she's exhausted, she's hangry, she is in her luteal phase, and she is just like at her wit's end, that is the worst time for you to then soften into her. That's when you need to go to your men's group. And this is why it's so important to have a men's group, whether it's you are paying for a men's group or whether it's a group of friends. You need to be able to go to them to soften. That's what's really important, because she is not the environment right now for you to do that in. Now, on the flip side, if you come home from a really rough day and you wanted to soften into her and you wanted to like have a bit of a meltdown, and she had a great day, she was feeling strong, she was ovulating, she's like, I got my shit together, like life is good, I am free, I am easy, and you came home and you were really stressed, she would probably enjoy that. I would enjoy it, right? Because I like to be nurturing, I like to be warm. But if you're gonna crumble when I'm already stressed, fuck that, because biologically, this is not about society. This is about biology. Jelly, shut the fuck up. When it comes to biology, as feminine women, we need to know that the masculine is protecting us. That's why you'll find that you're more relaxed when you're around men that you trust and that you really know. Okay, that's why you'll find that when you're in the bed with the man that you love, your sleep's better. And then when he's away on holiday, you can't sleep as well. That is because our nervous system relaxes in the face and in the energy and in the presence of the divine, healthy masculine. No, that does not mean shitty men, right? That also means shitty women. Like, when there's shitty, toxic people around us, full stop, nobody feels good, okay? So anyway, that's the first thing that I wanted to say, and it's just like a really tiny bit of this whole topic, but I just wanted to mention it to you. Oh, this is what I was going to actually fucking say. So I actually said this in the book. One of my clients in one of the previous rounds of Queen Alchemy, she recognized this firsthand of softness makes me feel ill from my man. And it was physical softness for her. And this is also a thing, the physical softness. So women are like, yeah, like I want a man that's like, you know, tender and nurturing and soft. And have you ever had sex with a man that is like so soft that you feel like you're having sex with a woman and you are straight? It's not attractive because the feminine wants to be ravished. She wants to be grabbed. So with what we actually did with her husband was she closed her eyes and her husband put his hand really softly on her body and she'd flinch because there wasn't safety if I've got you, right? And then her husband would grab her really tight and her body would relax because there's safety if I've got you. So when your masculine is like, I've got you, and when the masculine around you in your life is like, I've got you, you as the feminine relax. When you don't have that, you're not going to relax. And also you need to want to relax and you need to release any trauma that stops you from relaxing. If you're traumatized, this is like going to go out the window for you until you like release that trauma. I hope this is kind of making sense to you guys. And you guys can send me any questions afterwards and I can do a follow-up, but I need to just finish this up so I can go prep for breath work. Second thing I wanted to say is about the inconvenience wound, because this came up, I don't know, yesterday sometime, maybe when I was doing an interview. Oh yeah, it was when I was doing an interview yesterday. The inconvenience wound. So the inconvenience wound is a wound that I see in my female clients. And it is the wound of, I don't want to be an inconvenience to anybody. I don't want to ask for too much help. I don't want to change plans. I don't want to ask for them to change the time. I don't want to be an inconvenience to anyone. I don't want to have any allergies and then be an inconvenience to where we can go to dinner. It's like, I'll just fit in. I'll just be a people pleaser. I'll be a fucking doormat. And what this actually is this ideology in your primitive brain that if I'm an inconvenience, that person will reject me and that I will be alone and I will die. If I'm an inconvenience to this man, he will reject me and that I will be alone and that I die. So when you have this fear of being an inconvenience to other people, you become an inconvenience to your fucking self, right? Yeah, there you go. You become a fucking inconvenience to yourself. And the reason why I say that you become an inconvenience to yourself is because you are no longer listening to your own truth. You're allowing yourself to be second to other people because you're so afraid of being rejected. And this inconvenience wound is very damaging because you're not fully self-expressed. And that's how resentment happens in relationships, because you don't express your needs because you don't want to be an inconvenience. It also means that you don't let men lead because you don't want to be an inconvenience to them. If they're holding open a door, I don't want to be an inconvenience. I'll open my own door. If you've got heavy shopping bags and they're like, let me carry them for you. You're like, no, I got them, because you don't want to be a fucking inconvenience to them. What's another example? Like, there's so many examples, right, that I see all the time of women, this wound coming out in the way of like them not wanting men to lead because they're also like, I don't want to be an inconvenience to them. I don't want to say to them, I don't want to go there for dinner because what if they get offended? Or I don't want to say to them how I'm feeling because I don't want to be too much to them. I don't want to be an inconvenience. I don't want to cause stress on their day. There is so much that I could go on about that, but all I want to say is if the inconvenience wound is you, this is also like a feminine masculine wound within yourself, and it's all related. And this is why I'm just like, I have to write a fucking book and make a fucking TV show, because this stuff there's just so many layers to it. I'm like I'm never gonna finish unpacking all the layers to it. Anyway, so I'm just gonna leave it there. Let me just see if there's any questions. I'm just gonna leave it there for you guys now, but I wanted to just jump in and give you guys that chicken nugget because I was trying to put it in my Instagram story and it was just too fucking long for the Instagram story, evidently. I don't know how many minutes it's been so far. So yeah, if you are a woman and you're like, why is my man being so soft? It's because you're probably not receiving him properly. You're probably not surrendering to him. So he feels like he needs to be softer around you to make you feel safer and whatever, rather than you being like, fucking ravish me, and allowing and actually feeling safe to receive him in that. That's number one. And then number two, on the men's side and the society side, the more that we continue to shame men, the more that we are pushing them into thinking like, oh, I've got to be more feminine. And that's creating these soft men. It's actually making them lose their purpose, and it's becoming more toxic, because a man without purpose and a man not in his masculine is not a healthy man. That is all that happens, is that you just suppress under the carpet. You just shove all their shit under the carpet. Society just shoves, and it explodes in an unhealthy way. There's so much research to back this, and I'm putting in the book of like, even for example, like school shootings. There is a direct link between school shootings and men that feel and boys that feel rejected at school, right? And there's no mentorship for them of like, let's go fucking get angry about it and let's release all of our anger. Let's get into our power. There's just suppress. And then what happens? It explodes in a very unhealthy way. So when society thinks that by shaming and suppressing an issue is helping, it's doing the exact opposite. Okay, so when we're suppressing men, it's doing the exact opposite of what we want. If you're wanting to help men to become better, do you know what you need to do? You need to actually empower them to be more in their masculine. Because when a man has his purpose, oh my God, he's being feisty. When a man is in his purpose, that is when he's going to be the healthiest. Just like when a woman is surrounded by beautiful friends, having an amazing time, loving her life, she is her healthiest, right? When a woman is just a workaholic and always in her head and is being a control freak, she's not her healthiest. Violet, I feel like I'm on the way to healing the inconvenience wound. What can we do to do this? We'll do it in our one-on-one, don't worry. Ladies, I also didn't tell you this because I didn't even know. Queen Alchemy closes on Friday. So if you haven't joined Queen Alchemy, you absolutely should, so that we can heal all of this stuff, especially the inconvenience wound, and so that you can heal your relationship with the masculine. Because in order for you to be in your feminine, you actually have to heal your relationship with your masculine. People think if I want to be in my feminine, I need to do more feminine things. I'm like, no, you need to heal your relationship with the masculine, then it'll be more in your feminine. So Queen Alchemy closes Friday until September, which is like so far away. So join us. I'm gonna go do breath work. I love you all. Hope you have a beautiful day. Enjoy the view. And I feel so grateful for my new beautiful employee, Sarah, because she is helping me so much, and this means that we can do so many more things in the business for you guys. And yes, there is a TV show coming. Just saying, there is a TV show coming. Thank you, Violet. Have a lovely day, everybody. Bye.